Monero Talk is sponsored by Cake Wallet, a trustless, open-source wallet that gives you the keys to your crypto. Invoice, donate, and trade your Monero with peace of mind, piece of cake. And by StealthEX, an instant exchange where privacy is a top concern. Go to stealthyex.io to instantly exchange between Monero and 450 plus assets without having to create an account or register and with no limits, making StealthEX a simple way to purchase Monero with crypto anonymously. Monero Talk is also made possible from contributions by viewers and listeners like you, and supporting us is easier than ever by typing in monerotalk.crypto in your monero.com or Cake Wallet send address field to send us a tip.
All right. Good morning. How are you, man?
Yeah, good morning. All good. How are you?
Good. Just juggling family life, crypto life, and fiat life.
Yeah, got it.
How about you, man? You're full. I'm sure you're fully focused on the Zano, right?
Yeah, we do. We had a hell of a time during 2026, but all good. So far, we survived it. I would say this way.
Oh, you mean the bear market, or
no, not the bear market. Mostly AI era, because it's been difficult for us. But I can talk about this more later.
Yeah, we could get into it. Let's get into it right now. But regarding the AI stuff, so I guess you're saying the fact that it's kind of a race to see who can find the exploits first, right?
Yeah, I mean, I believe many projects faced this, and Monero itself as well. I think you guys experienced a lot of stuff like this. I used to do bug bounty program on Immunify before, but later, like at the beginning of 2026, it became really hard. We started to get a lot of reports that was we had a positive reports, but also there was a lot of false positive reports, and it was really hard to deal with this because it was consuming a lot of time. And even at some points when we had quite a few sensitive discoveries, we reached out to the white hats and had a chat with them, had a call with them, and it turned out that the white hats who reported quite sensitive discoveries, they had no idea about the codebase, the architecture, the technology itself. So it was apparent that they purely used AI. So we had to build something on our own, and we spent some time on learning how the things works, build a better context for this. So we built something. We built a set of instruments on our own. We explained it and created a better context by explaining basically our codebase to AI model, what are potential threats, what are potential threat models, and where to find where the potential bugs could be, what type of the bugs we're looking for. Because I mean, we have our knowledge about what potentially could go wrong. And as we did this, we started to do the research with the AI tools, and we discovered plenty of issues. And instead of delivering hard fork 6 that already been waiting by our supporters, we spent enormous amount of time by basically fixing the issues that been in the codebase forever, like for a long time.
So
we had a pushback for 3 to 4 months just because we had a lot of discovered the problems with this. And it's actually very fascinating how smart the models became, and especially if you provide a better context, better explanation, what is the codebase, how it works, and separate it in different parts. It shows very good results, and it's generated. We had a really minimum number of false positive, a lot of legitimate reports. So we spent a lot of time by fixing this, but still, launch audit every time the new model published by OpenAI or Anthropic, because I mean, someone else will do it apparently.
So now you have a good system in place for kind of auditing Zano as new models come out.
Yeah. We also, on the way of building this, we actually learned how to build additional tools. For example, we built tools for automatic testing. Everything we have, I mean, beside the core test, we also built the consumer side testing. And now, basically, after we prepare release, we just put it in the system, and the whole night's AI tools that can see the layout, see what's happening, look into the log. At the same time, it's do all the testing scenarios itself the whole night, and in the morning we see, oh, we have a bugs or we have a good to go, like a green light. So it's really a new era for me, especially as a software developer with like 25 years of experience. This is something completely different. All the processes that I knew before doesn't work anymore. It works different. It works more efficient. And this AI tools power basically everything. So now even a smaller team can achieve more in a shorter time with using this old tool, which is super cool. And I really hope it's not gonna. It's cool from this perspective, but it's also really scary because it can destroy open source projects like ours in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, and it leads to false trust too, right? Because now you have these small teams now that you said that could basically mimic a larger, perhaps more, compete against a team that maybe really does have the dev chops, right? Has those abilities, but they really don't. They're kind of more leaning on AI. So you're trusting these projects when really it might be guys vibe coding. Not saying Zano. You guys actually have the chops, but I'm saying you're gonna see, and we're already seeing.
No, we actually don't trust AI. That's the thing. We don't trust.
No, I know you don't.
Second.
Yeah.
We just give it the part of the work that we understand how this AI tools can do. And of course, for the core contribution, we never trust AI. We do all the coding in the core old school. But these tools are very good for reviewing, for analyzing the existing commit that was human-made. These tools are very good for testing, for checking hypotheses, because it's point to the errors, and you can self-validate if it's error or not error. But yeah, you're right that you pointed that you should not trust AI because of hallucination, and apparently it's not there yet. But some of the properties of these tools are very good, extremely good, and finding stuff and comparing, working with the data, doing like a job that normally developers don't like parsing some formats, analyzing logs, quickly building these tools. This is simple job, and AI tools do it pretty well. And this is normally when a smaller team doesn't have enough hands. And now this team like ours, at least, we can focus on like really things that matters and do the routine job quickly than we normally do.
Right. It's like you have an army of devs working for you now, right? Obviously, you go and you check the code, but you can get them to
not the army, but a few extra hands, I would say.
Okay, a few extra hands.
Yeah.
It's becoming pretty significant though as these models get better.
Yeah.
Did you guys find anything significant that was like, oh wow, good thing?
Yeah, we did. We did find significant. First of all, this is exclusive information for you.
Okay.
We found emission bug in a recent, in an old codebase pre-hard fork, pre-Zarcanum hard fork.
Oh wow.
That was never exploited. It's never abused, so there was no accident of actually minting money. But the fact that we found that our codebase had emission bug terrified us extremely. Like we were like terrified, and that was the trigger event when we started to actually focus on developing tools based on AI to doing audits more extensively, because before we were like, okay, this finding looks silly. We were getting a lot of project faces this at the beginning, even like half years ago or 1 year ago, you were getting like AI slope, that report that looks like a legitimate, but when you look into this and you dig, you see it's not. It's just pretend to be. It looks like legitimate. But then at some point it started to report very legitimate findings. So these problems that we found, especially this old bug in the old codebase, but it was legitimate finding, we decided to take it seriously. And we have a few smaller things that we haven't revealed yet, because we're still waiting for the hard fork 6 to get activated. I mean, it's still more or less closed, but before we disclosure it, we want to make sure everything is updated.
Right.
But it's not that dramatic as was before.
This larger how do you know it wasn't exploited? How does that?
It was this because it was quite a trivial thing to figure this out, because it's related with a multi-sig, and you already in hard forks in the current hard fork zone, we already cannot create multi-sig inputs. It was applied only for the input that created before the hard fork, Zirconium hard fork, like 2 years ago. So we checked all existing multi-signature outputs in the way they spent, and figured out that no one ever did this. So it was.
So it wasn't like, and also it wasn't a potential flaw that would carry over to Monero, right? It was something that was.
No, it's something unique for Zano. It's not. I mean, we would disclose it to you guys if we found something, of course. No, we didn't find anything that. What we found was specifically for our own codebase, I believe. I found the protocol bug about a year and a half ago, which I believe Monero still may have, but it's not that dangerous. It could be exploited on a very certain situation. And I messaged someone and asked you probably who is the right person to report. But I messaged someone on Twitter, but no one ever responded to me.
Okay, so, I'll make sure to put you in touch. That's not.
Yeah.
Okay, it's potentially something serious, or.
No, it's not. It's not about money. It's just a protocol thing. But this potential issue related to P2P protocol, the currency protocol specifically, that lets for the new nodes, when the new node join the network and synchronize, malicious nodes can put them into the like forever cycle and never get them into a synchronize. I mean, it's quite complicated to explain it, but it's very unlikely situation. That's why I didn't bother to make a noise from this. I mean, didn't bother to reach out anyone else, because it's not a big thing, I believe.
All right. Now, what was that the issue you guys had about a year and a half ago, or maybe it was 2 years ago now? That was there was some privacy potential exploit. I know that was.
We had a I think we had a bunch of them. Last thing I remember, it was a attempt to de-anonymize the stakers using IP addresses.
Yeah, maybe that was what I was thinking. Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking.
Before was something else, I think. I don't remember, but it was something even before. Yeah, we had few things.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's running into. It's a matter of how you handle the issues more so than whether or not you have them at this point, right?
Yeah, with the network. We tried to learn the lesson, and it's not that easy, especially for the staking, because when you introduce additional relays, the blocks may be lost, and the people complain about proof of staking getting not that efficient, and the people they always jump to suspect that devs created the staking not as efficient, and they themselves stake very efficient. So as a sensitive subject, we did it as optional things, because from we learned it, our stakers care more about, which is weird, but they care about more about profitability than actual privacy. They say that we would rather stake and reveal our IP address and have a more consistent staking rate than using the privacy tools that we built for them. We build a relay proxy through the Tor, so the proof of stake blocks can be relayed through the Tor. But because of the additional latency and some of the errors on the relay, they sometimes fails to deliver, so the profitability a little bit drops, and people don't like it. So, but the question, the problem is still open for us. We still hesitate to build something like a Dandelion ++, or because I mean it's apparently take a lot of time to implement this, and also we're not satisfied 100% with the result, because you still, if you have enough IP addresses, you can discover a lot of information. So we kind of have, this is still on the table, and we still have this in our to-do list. After we finish the important stuff, the stuff that we rush with, we'll focus on this as well.
So in terms of audits and these AI exploits, how are you feeling right now about Zano? You feeling like you're in a good place now?
Actually, in yes and no. In a good place, I feel, because we built something that we understand give us more or less security with the best current models. So we're pretty sure, especially because we contextualize it, our internal tools. So the scans that we do goes way better than scan that been run by a random person who doesn't know the code base. And we know it for sure. And that gives us some sort of free time to prepare to whatever coming next. This is the yes part. And no part is actually the way I see the new models are getting smarter and smarter and smarter, and that we see the hacks that happens everywhere. The bridges get hacked, the L1 gets hacked. Most of these hacks comes from AI tools powered by some experienced people. And of course, we were all afraid that quantum computer is going to break the crypto and the blockchains, but probably it will happen faster with AI tools. So I have a sense of emergency and sense of real risk from the AI tools. Especially, I don't know what's happening there. They have this Mythos model that is not public or given to some people. So it's getting, I mean, I'm not going to use the word fair or unfair, because it's not applicable. I mean, it's whoever has money or has ability, they will use it as leverage. But I think these tools are becoming very dangerous, and we cannot count that whoever have a hand on these tools will be ethically using this. We don't know it. Probably not.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big danger, and we should do our best. That's why we actually spent a number of months to working on this issue and postpone it and pushed back a little bit hard fork 6 activation, because we wanted to make sure, okay, if we lost this time, if we will be late on this time, it's going to be over. So yeah, I think it's a big concern, one of the biggest, and we should be very careful about this. But I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but do you think eventually we get to the point where open source models are essentially the best models and everybody has access to it? So it kind of prevents the issue we're facing right now, where only certain people are getting access to the best models?
Even open source models for the AI. For AI.
Yeah. Like we get to the point where everything is open source and accessible, and essentially anybody can get access to the best models as they're released, because the open source ones become the best ones.
Well, as a consumer, I would of course vote for the open source, but
Right. I think there was the
economic
Kimi, I think was the one
yes,
that recently,
it's
right?
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I think first of all, there is economic reasons that driven the models to be open sourced. I think this Chinese model make it open source for certain reasons, economic reasons, probably not because they are open source in a way of the spirit of the open source. I don't know. But what I was reading, they do it for economic reasons, to win the war against the giant monopolists, not monopolists, but the bigger companies in the United States, particularly. And I cannot say. As far as I understand this business, the open source itself and the weights itself is as a result of the training. This is something that you cannot. Open source training is a huge investment, that costs like enormous amount of money, and this is the tricky part. And whatever they make public or open source, it's probably not the best models. Of course, they keep for a certain period of time the best models for themselves, and we don't know. And if it comes from again, going back to the ethical using, we don't know how these models will be used on any side, whoever training this. But there is a good side in open source models that people can try. But the biggest model, the best models, you have to have a significant investment even to run this model, not to train them, but just to execute the queries or research, which is also like a new era. You would have a need bigger and bigger computers. So I don't have I think it's just a very specific time when they put models open source. And I wish to believe the open source will win, but I don't know. The economic perspective gives its own reality. This all, especially because of the training, cost enormous amount of money. That's all driven by economics. They need to attract money, the huge money to buy compute to train the models. So it will be driven by economic stimulus.
Well, these projects like BitTensor, Tau, I don't know if you're following those at all, but they're trying to solve that issue too, with just having open source models, but then also basically running like a Bitcoin, like a cryptocurrency, but having that compute, that network going towards. I
even heard about a few projects that try to make a proof of connect proof of work and the training of the neural networks, which is I'm skeptical about this because it's super complicated, because proof of work, it's a very specific thing that you can do a lot of calculation, but quickly verify the result. And training, as the nature of the training, is a completely different process. I don't know how they achieve this. And I honestly believe most of these projects are just a hype that focused on the people who doesn't know the technology, but have imagination, and they just hype it on this.
But you think useful proof of work might be more hype than something that could actually
not that work. Useful, but the nature of proof of work is very specific. It use very specific, unique properties of the hash functions, and I never seen anything that helpful or useful proof of work would be actually working. There was one good attempt at the prime coin, I think, that was calculating prime numbers, which is also super easy to verify. But I'm not saying that it's not possible, and that would be absolutely great if someone figured this out. And it's not that I'm against the proof of work, completely for whatever it is, whatever it does. No. It's just my frustration when I see not a lot, but some projects use the hype about this, and they have no idea or have no concrete technological breakthrough to do this, but just use it as a manifestation, as a declaration. We want to build something fund us, we will because this is going to be good for everyone. And then they never deliver anything. This always gives me frustration, because they intuitively feel that would be great, but there's a lot of projects that was claiming to do the same thing has been failing for 10 years. Even at the very beginning of the Bitcoin Talk era, there was a bunch of projects that was solving DNA mining problems with the proof of work. They tried to connect. There was like a decrypting genome of the people or whatever. And none of these projects ever did anything. I mean, that has worked. So my skepticism comes from this. So the people will use this idea and imagination of people and belief of the people in these technologies to basically rip off the money or never deliver something like this.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, but as opposite, decentralized training itself, which is not connected to proof of work, but basically creating decentralized market of the calculational power is a great thing, and I believe this would be also very strong thing.
That's more like a bit tensor. Yeah, that's
okay.
All right, yeah, we got almost 60 live viewers. Guys, like and share, retweet. Let's get the word out. We got Andrey, what I always like to describe you as, the super Monero OG, the CryptoNote OG, of course, the guy who created the first implementation of CryptoNote and is currently the founder of Zano. Zano, if you had to give the elevator pitch for Zano, what would you say it is?
Oh, I'm so terrible about this. We even did analysis of all interview, and it showed that I'm terrible in pitching and explaining what Zano is, which is terrible for the founder of the project, and I have to work on this.
You're too genuine and honest. You're not a salesman. Which is a good thing.
I'm not salesman, but I also had to like memorize the elevator pitch at least, and I never did it yet. So I would better explain. Probably it's gonna be better. I can explain what is hard fork 6 and what we.
Yeah, let's get into that. But I mean, the way I really look at Zano, big picture, right? I see Monero as untraceable digital cash. It's focused on being money. Zano focused on bringing that privacy to other things, other assets, to smart contracts. So I really kind of see it as the, Ethereum of privacy coins, that sector, right? And obviously you get into the details whether or not it's similar to that. Tari was trying to be that as well. They're currently not doing very well. There's been a bunch of issues there. I really see Zano as the leader in this space of not necessarily a privacy coin, but a privacy coin that's also implemented things like smart contracts, confidential assets, all these things that you really can't do on Monero yet, that seem like they're inevitable. They're going to be part of the next wave. They're going to be utilities that people are going to want to use. In addition to just sending money privately, they're going to want to be able to do all their finances privately, all the things that we're accustomed to doing traditionally in the finance world, but on a decentralized private blockchain. And so I think Zano is definitely one of the leaders in that space. Honestly, I don't even know who your real competition is at this point. I always kind of put Tari in that sphere as well. Who else would you say is also competing for this slice of the pie that you guys are working on in crypto?
Actually, I'm not the right person to ask this. It would better to ask Quinton or Pavel about this. We are mostly focused on technology. We actually prefer to build a connection with the project that working on the same area. We have a good connection with the Ethereum project, with Ruben, and he helping us with the connections as well. We have a few connections with a few Monero developers as well. So I'm better on connecting, and at least I try to do this. I don't know who we compete with. But we actually have a significant step if we speak about like Zano being like Ethereum in the world of privacy. We actually going closer to this. I can explain about this a little bit more if you're interested. So with this hard fork 6, we introduced, besides a few other things, which is not big but minor. The gateway addresses is something that we would need to connect with the outer world. And we are building something that we name it Zano execution layer. So this is going to be, actually the Pavel is the godfather of this part. He is better. You can, if you want, you can invite him later. He will explain it better. I will do the high level picture. So Zano execution layer, which we call ZEL. It's it's a Cosmos-based blockchain L1 itself, which is bridged to Zano through these gateway addresses. Also, the bridging secured by Zano coins itself. And this execution layer doesn't have its own L1 coins. It also uses Zano. So Zano will be wrapped into this thing and will be used there for the fee, for the gas fees, for whatever is used there. And this Zano execution layer will be connected to Zano, using Zano as a bond to create the bridges, to threshold signature, to operate this thing. And this will be able to, you can, when you go into this Zano execution layer, you can write or execute whatever smart contracts you have there using the technology stack that already used for the Ethereum. Everything will be working there. And also this thing will be work as a bridge to other blockchains. So it's going to be connected to Ethereum and the Bitcoin, which is already there. And we also have actually implemented but not reviewed and not deployed yet Solana and Telegram, Ton network connector. So it will be, first of all, it will be like a execution layer, like something that you can put your Zano into. Of course, this will be without privacy. So as soon as you go out of Zano, you will come into the address tree model, same as Ethereum, which is typical for Cosmos blockchains. But you have a freedom of building the tools that you need, for example, for the stable coins. If you want to do the algorithmic stable coins or whatever, you can build the logic and transparency layer there. So people can see how it's governed, how it's managed, what is the emission, what are the rules. Same transparency level that the stable coins have in the EVM or Solana-like networks. But then it will be also native to Zano blockchain. So you have all the transparency, all the things that needed people, to consumers, to have the privacy and the private payments. It's going to be working in Zano. And the second part is going to be bridging to outer world and creating liquidity for the stable coins or whatever tools will be built inside Zano.
So this is using gateway addresses, right?
It will be connected to gateway addresses to Zano network. Okay. But this execution layer, it's its own L1.
What are you calling this? What are you calling this?
Zano execution layer.
Zano execution layer.
Or ZEL. It's a short, ZEL.
And so the idea with the Zano execution layer is that now it will allow for connecting into these other DeFi systems more easily.
Yes, basically connected to DeFi other systems and have a DeFi infrastructure of its own, built on native Zano. So it will be run and operated on Zano native coins as well. So we hope we create more use of this. So Zano coins will be used for even more things.
And that's going live with this hard fork, correct? Hard fork.
No. The gateway addresses will be live already. This thing will be live. I don't know exactly. We have to check with Pavel, that it's already live on a test network with a gateway when gateway address is also live. But I don't know how public is this test network. It's internal for developers. And there is more things. There is also, I'm not sure 100%, but the Freedom Dollar will be also part of this Zano execution layer. They will use it for something, for whatever they like, because with the current setup, as we figured out, Freedom Dollar was a great project, but people was not really understand how the transparency work, what is the emission, who control emission, how it controls. There was a lot of questions, and we proposing them to use Zano execution layer as a platform native to Zano to move this there so people can see how exactly it works, and you can implement as much mechanics as you need for the stablecoin. So it's
Freedom Dollar is going to move over to this new execution layer, so that
I hope. I cannot claim 100%. We talk with the Freedom Dollar. We present them this thing. We trying to make them interested. They seems to be very interested. They say they're excited, but you know how it works. We first have to make it live. We have to make to launch these things, because we happen to be postponing deadlines. So we promised to deliver things, and it's delivered later than we promised. So of course there is some expectation, and I think our partners and supporters, they want to see the first it's getting delivered, and then we hope they're gonna like it and they're gonna jump on this.
I see Zano project saying is gateway addresses also unlock native Zano integration into DEXs.
Yes.
Chain. So yeah, it's going to make it super easy to integrate with existing DEXs, these gateway
Yes,
addresses.
of course. Not exclusively for the gateway addresses. They're not exclusively for Zano execution layers. Other projects, we talk with the Tor chain right now.
Right.
We talk with a couple of other projects, and we make them ask them what they need to get it integrated, like to get it faster integrated. So yeah, we're trying to make Zano more connected, more
exchanges. It'll be easier for exchanges to add it. Centralized exchanges, decentralized exchanges, right?
As well, yes, but with exchanges, it's a little bit different situation right now. We not encourage exchanges to use. I mean, for them, from the maintenance perspective, gateway address is way easier than a regular wallet, because you don't have a UTXO problem there. You have a way easier, smaller setup that you need. You can use remote node for this, but because of the privacy implication, the gateway address, before the full chain membership proof, the gateway address will have influence on the privacy, because the gateway address itself, it's not private.
Right.
And
is it similar to describing it like in Zcash, where you have shielded addresses and transparent addresses? Is it like kind of going into a transparent address for Zano? Essentially, with
from privacy perspective, it has similarities, yes, but it's different, because shielded address in a Zcash is still UTXO model, and the gateway addresses is actually balanced tree model, which is way better and faster. So it's similar, yeah, but little bit different. But from privacy perspective, yes, and for that reason, we encourage to use the gateway addresses only for DeFi projects, basically do the bridging, because whenever you do the bridging, you already, when you put something inside the blockchain, you already compromise the privacy on the entry point, because transaction that comes into the network reveal the very same information, what type of assets entered and what the amount of the assets entered. So the gateway address, actually, when it's connected to this type of services, it doesn't make the privacy worse. It just take on itself the hard part of the work, but it just brings this level of unprivate information to itself, and then goes from itself. So probably it's not the best explanation I did.
Well, my understanding too is, because of the nature of CryptoNote, Monero has to deal with the same issue. Zano, the scanning of the blockchain, right, which is a long process. Because of the nature of stealth addresses, really, right?
Of course. But what I was trying to say,
this avoids the need to do that that long scanning process.
Yeah, of course, this is 100%. Absolutely, this is will be quick and instant transfers, instant balance, instant everything. But because of the privacy implication, we have to be very careful. And before we have a full chain membership proof, we will encourage to use these gateway addresses only by bridges, DeFi integrations, and the project that have an open blockchain infrastructure that connects to Zano. So we doesn't actually compromise this transaction more than it's already compromised by the nature of connection from the not private network. With the exchange, we want, and we, of course, we cannot enforce it, but we made this, first of all, we made the gateway addresses quite expensive to register. It's cost $1,000. I mean, 100 Zano, estimate $1,000.
You have to pay 100 Zano to even just
to register one gateway address. I mean, for exchanges, probably it's not worth something, but we hope it's gonna block users from registering it and casually use it, because we don't want this. But after full chain membership proof will be live on the main network, we will lose this registration fee to something like nothing or close to nothing, because this after full chain membership proof is on, you can freely use it without damaging the privacy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with a full chain membership proof, having this, I mean, that's the similar reason why Zcash have this shielded and unshielded addresses and don't suffer much of the, because they have a full chain membership proof, I mean, the full ring, and also having this unshielded addresses around doesn't break much, because of unlinkability is way better. So with a full chain membership proof, if we have it around, having gateway address around doesn't break much. So that's it. That's the plan.
Yeah, I mean that's super exciting. And so, not to go too far off the gateway address topic, but you mentioned full chain membership proofs. Is Zano going to be implementing full chain membership proofs once Monero does?
We actually, our developers looking, especially while he's carefully looking for the Monero process, he's listening I don't know how to say it, but he's reading the discussions. He knows what's going on there. He's reading what's happening there, and we have another tricky thing before we go the full chain membership proof. We have to switch to pure proof of stake, which we also build the paper.
Yes,
so
that's
we figured out.
Topic that. Yeah. Let's get to that in a little bit. We'll discuss that as a separate topic, because I want to cover everything that.
So full chain membership proof is of course it's a big milestone for us. Of course, we first of all, we don't want to rush. It's we want to give you guys like a chance to deploy it, have it, so everybody knows it's your invention, and we'll be working on this. While we'll be mostly working on this, and I will be mostly working on a proof of stake, I think, by this time. But yeah, we're looking forward to this, and whatever we build, even new consensus that we have, this Zenit paper, we have it, as far as we understand now, compatible with the future full chain membership proof integration. Because we had, before we had on the research part, we had two different directions for the proof of stake. Both are interesting, and between other reasons, we picked up Zenit, the paper called Zenit, because we believe it will be compatible with the future full chain membership proof. So we didn't actively work on this yet, but should be working on this next month, starting next month, I think.
Very exciting, very exciting. I love the fact that Zano will be implementing full chain membership proofs. I like that you're being, respectful, saying let's let Monero have it for a little bit before. But obviously, the more it gets used and added, the better it's going to get vetted. You guys will then be auditing it as well and making sure everything's working right. So it's just gonna add to the security overall for both projects.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I really hope for this.
Now, for the gateway addresses, before we leave that topic, just so people can kind of understand clearly. So in terms of privacy, though, it is very similar to what Zcash does in terms of, let's say you're interacting with an exchange and you're sending Zano to the exchange. In terms of the information that they would be able to see from you as a user is very similar to going in and out of,
they will. So it's almost.
Right.
So if we talk about exchange of the future exchange, they will see the amount of tokens that arrive to the gateway address, and they will see the type of the asset, so the asset ID. They won't be seeing user ID because the payment ID is encrypted and could be decrypted only by exchange. Also, between other things, in the hard fork 6, we introduced new payment ID system, which Val was building himself, which gives us better privacy, and basically it's make transaction with payment ID or without payment ID basically indistinguishable. So it gives also more uniformness to transactions and better privacy. So if someone deposit to the gateway address to exchange, you will see the number of coins and you will see the type of the coins, type of the asset, but you will not see the actual users who did the deposit.
Mm-hmm. And then when you pull it off the exchange and send it back to yourself through the gateway.
Also, it will be sent from the exchange. You see the number of coins, you see the type of asset sent, and it's sent to some stealth address. So whenever it's sent next, it will be spent with a ring.
Right.
So yeah.
Do you think? Go ahead, finish your thought.
It still leave trace of like influence on the privacy. These gateway addresses, because it's a rings of the ring. So with a long and a better, especially with AI tools, analytics, you can not prove but this particular transfer, but you can make a statistical guess about some of the transfers, which also bad for privacy. And we understand this. That's why we are very careful with how the gateway address will be used. But as soon as it leaves the gateway area into the regular Zano address, it have the privacy properties.
Awesome. And then, like you said, once full chain membership proofs is implemented in Zano, that attack vector kind of goes away with gateway address.
I would say it becomes way better because it's hard to say that there's always some of the people figure out attack vector on the privacy. They will use some metadata that you would never imagine. So I would say it will become less visible. Let's say it this way.
That's exciting. You think Monero ever adds gateway addresses, or it would be too controversial?
No, I don't think it's controversial for me, but I have a different perspective on many things in the blockchain.
I don't know if the Monero, a lot of people in the Monero community would be able to overcome this thing. They might see it as being able to opt out of privacy or bending the knee. They might see it as bending the knee to these exchanges, and similar to the way Zcash has transparent.
No, it's not bending the knee.
I understand.
It's misconception. It's misconception. First of all, it's made not for exchanges. It's made for whoever is doing integration with a DeFi zone, and they there is a majority of the tools that use it to connect chains are using threshold signatures or multi-sig because they have to create the bond of independent participants. That's the principle that blockchain uses. You have people that bonded to the network somehow, proof of work or proof of stake, and that they contribute to the security. The same, very similar way the connecting tools, the bridges are building. and it's still not easy. There is a lot of hacks of the bridges. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of things, but so far it's the only way we know the build to have a more participants and create some sort of the bond between them all, so they all motivated to be a honest player. So Monero can not necessarily introduce gateway addresses itself on the consensus layer. They can build some tools that will act same way, but will be behind the consensus layer. It will be basically the same thing. They can create some sort of the threshold signature tools, which I know the Luke was building something similar, as far as I know. Or they can build some sort of the tools that particularly focused on connecting Monero with other blockchains. I don't know for what reason specifically. Before Monero have tokens, I mean the coins or assets on its chain, it doesn't make much sense there. But if Monero at some point decide to have tokens and give the privacy to other projects, then it will make more sense to create this sort of the bridging mechanism. But it could be move it out from a consensus and build as a separate tools. Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
But the community of Monero is unpredictable. They become very defensive, and it really depends on how the leaders of Monero community, how they explain, if they educate them and explain that it's best for the project, it's not bending knee, that's going to be appreciated probably.
Yeah.
So it's probably your job to explain your.
I'm the one that's going to decide whether or not we get no. I mean, obviously the community as a whole, but even these conversations right now that we're having, right? People are listening. They're absorbing. Me personally, I do see a lot of benefit to these gateway addresses, especially for Zano, because you guys have these assets that are on top of Zano.
Yeah.
But maybe once you guys implement it and it goes live and Monero community sees it in action, and then it's studied a little more and understand a little deeper in terms of the privacy implications, which I think you've explained very well. But with full chain membership proofs live on Monero, maybe adding something like a gateway address would be acceptable in the Monero community. I don't know, because you get so much.
Yeah, also it's not that hard. It's super easy.
Yeah,
it's not a big, it's not a rocket science actually to gateway addresses.
Yeah.
Maybe Monero will do it better than we did, because we tried to figure out how to make gateway addresses with a hidden amount, which is super exciting, and we really wanted to do this, but we had a really short time period to deliver this because there was expectation. So we decided to work on this later. But maybe you guys in Monero, you have a lot of brains there. You can figure out how to make gateway addresses with a hidden amount, which will be like a super great feature. Absolutely amazing. You have this immediate balance and the connection point, but at the same time you have a hidden amount which gives a better privacy. So.
But then how does, if the amount's hidden, then how is because just
They could be hidden in with some commitments, like similar way the amounts hidden in transaction outputs. The outputs have the transaction outputs in the CryptoNotes and the Monero and Zano. They have outputs, but it's hidden with a commitment. It's replaced with the point on the curve. Probably there is some smart way to do this hidden balances for the gateway addresses as well, which is we had Val actually had few ideas how to build this, but as we didn't have enough time to review it and to make sure it's super secure, because I mean one little mistake in this and you're dead in the water. So we decided to
hold off.
Yeah, be responsible and
iterate.
Wait, was this? But if you guys ever want to do this, you can have a benefit of innovation to bring this.
Yeah.
Or if you guys come up with great ideas, we can build it together and have it in Zana in Monero as well.
That's all. That kind of becomes a no-brainer for Monero at that point. If you have gateway addresses with hidden amounts as well, then it's almost like, yeah. I don't know. Then it's pretty clear cut. So I guess Zano, you're going to launch these gateway addresses as they currently are, but you're going to work towards also hiding the amounts eventually. It sounds like.
I would say it's on our backlog and wish list. Yeah. We have to work on the full chain membership proof first. We have to deliver proof of stake first, even before the full chain membership proof, because I believe full chain membership proof implementation will be longer work. And proof of stake, we really want to deliver in the mainnet in the next year. So, and then after this, we'll be probably thinking about adding hidden amounts for the gateway addresses. So
awesome.
It's not super high priority now.
And like you said, it comes with so much benefit. Now it's going to be easy for exchanges to list you. It's going to be easy for decentralized exchanges to integrate with Zano. And just beyond the getting around the regulations, let's say, for lack of a better way of explaining it, it comes with this ability to essentially scan the blockchain much faster and work with Zano in a much faster way, which is huge.
Actually, I don't know about regulation. If this fit, we didn't aim for regulation. We should have, but we have a very little knowledge about regulation.
Yeah, I just mean centralized exchanges that are hesitant to add these default privacy coins like Monero and Zano. Gateway addresses makes it a no-brainer for, like, there's not, that hesitation doesn't really exist as much anymore, given the nature of it.
I don't know, it may make a situation better, but it may also make no difference for them, because for many reasons, because you cannot track the history, you don't see the deposit address. Basically, whoever is deposited, you don't know where the address came from. So I don't know. I cannot. I don't have enough knowledge about this to.
Well, let me ask you this: once you guys do, once the hard fork goes live, which is that's like next week, a week from now, essentially.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be next week. Oh, it's next week.
That's amazing. How quickly do you see, let's say decentralized exchanges implementing Zano that we're waiting for these gateway addresses? That's something that's going to happen fast. Like I see Thorchain is being discussed quite a bit. I saw Maya protocol was also, they just had an exploit, by the way. I don't know if you saw that.
They just got stolen like 1 million and something. Yeah.
Jesus.
Which is really sad. We talked with Maya some time ago. I know that Thorchain already looked into our API, and they looking forward to this. I don't have exact dates because they also have plenty of work ahead of them. They didn't commit to any specific date. We know that for sure that Zano execution layer will be launching as soon as possible, but it's probably going to be a couple of months, maybe later, as we know to always postpone the deadlines. I don't know. It's not happens like next day of the hard fork. I think it will take time. It will be some adoption curve. So it's probably can have some time in this, and I think probably others will be looking into the execution layer experience if it goes well. So they will jump on this as soon as it's possible.
Okay. What are some of the other major things that are going to come with Hard Fork 6 next week?
We have actually a little bit of consensus tweaks connected to consensus. We made it more proof of stake reliable, so not more reliant on proof of stake with this Hard Fork 6. We had a couple of fixes that Wal was doing. I don't even know. He said that he's doing something related that could be activated on a Hard Fork 6. I don't remember what was it, because he started to do it like 6 months or 7 months, even before we jump into AI stuff. but nothing major. Hard forks 6 most significant part is a gateway addresses. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Which is huge. It's going to have a
which is big.
So Hard Fork 6 launching next week. That's very exciting. And now you guys are already talking about the next big thing coming down the pipe, which I guess would be the next included in the next hard fork, which is basically deprecating the proof of work aspect of Zano.
Yes, I can't wait for this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Tell us about it. I know you've been talking about this for years, that this is kind of always been on the roadmap. Let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah, so we've been working together with the common prefix researchers on building. We started to work actually on improving proof of work, proof of stake hybrid system, and I wanted to fix certain things there. And we worked with the researchers, and every time I proposed it, the new ideas how to fix it, they actually always found a way to break it this way. And it turned out that proof of work part always bring the troubles. And on the way when we worked with them, they also shared with us the knowledge about proof of stake, different schemes of building proof of stake. They are very experienced in building consensus, I should say, and we learned from them a lot. Also, we had a couple of ideas, and they had a couple of ideas how to build pure proof of stake. We started to work on their ideas. They built their own protocol with a collaboration. We were helping them to overcome some privacy issues on this paper of their, and the name of the paper StakeNote. So they called StakeNote. And at some point, we decided that we're gonna try to work on different approach based on Zarkanum itself. We worked on this. Then we have another iteration, compare these two papers and see which one is a fit better for the current Zano situation. So actually, both papers are turned out to be legitimate and useful. We decided to go with a Zarkanum-based paper. We called it Zenith because for many reasons. First of all, it's use the primitive, the crypto primitives and the crypto tools that we already have in the Zano codebase. So it's less work to adapt this. The second, we believe the privacy features, the privacy properties of this paper is better at this point. So we decided to go ahead with this paper. Guys also worked on the StakeNote paper on themselves to polish it, to improve it, because they liked the approach and they wanted it to be known to the world. They published it somewhere. They actually presented it on the conference somewhere, I think, recently. So it also exists. So if you guys are interested at some point in the proof of stake, you can look into the both papers or whatever approach you take. So we finally got this paper. We now looking for someone to independently review this. We already got one review, but we will looking forward to someone to do the independent review of this paper and see if we didn't miss anything. But so far, we really like what we're building with this, what we have with this. And I personally, I myself really excited and can't wait to jump on the implementation of this because it's promised us faster blocks, faster confirmation time, smaller database after all, which is surprisingly not obvious, but we believe it's going to be smaller. So that's
yeah. I mean, the benefits are pretty tremendous, right? Like right now in Monero, we still have this 20-minute lock time. In Zano, that would go to, once it goes pure proof of stake, what would the time be?
So I believe it's going to be we manage to overcome the technological and engineering problems and manage to do the 15 seconds blocks. So I think the confirmation time with a high level of guarantee will be minute to minute and a half.
Wow.
So it's going to be, and it's actually aligns with the modern blockchains, what the user expectations has. So we think it's a great thing to do. But I mean, I like the part that makes it faster blockchain. But from my as engineer who feel responsible, I'm more excited about the reliability in terms of security that this new consensus gives us. It gives us way better security than anything we had before. Even now, after hard fork 6, we will become almost like a pure proof of stake in terms of reliability. Proof of work will still be used to defend against long-range attacks and some other stuff. But even after hard fork 6, we will count more on the proof of stake part. But with this Zenith hard fork, it will be way better. And I really hope that it's going to be implemented without any downgrades that I have in my mind right now.
Yeah. No, it's exciting to see, and also I think it also then really differentiates Zano from the other privacy coins, right? It's another thing that makes Zano unique, right? We're saying Zano
for now, yes, but I hope it's going to be changed soon. I actually, what is the consensus in Monero now about future? I mean, what is the Monero view or optics right now on the future of consensus on Monero? Are you guys considering proof of stake?
It seems pretty strong proof of work right now at this point. Even with
is it comes from the community or it comes from the developer? Because
I mean, it's a little bit. There's obviously some very well-respected, perhaps some of the most well-respected developers that are open to this concept of implementing some sort of proof of work element into Monero. For example, Luke Parker has spoken about it.
Yeah. I hear
so there's
something
that, but then
it.
on the other side, there's people like Arctic Mine, who's also very much on, a decision maker in the community, a chief in the community, who is very pure proof of work, right? So currently, I would say overall, Monero is still more strongly proof of work than anything else. But I think maybe as the community watches what happens with other projects, like with Zano, once you guys go pure proof of stake, seeing how that plays out in the wild, may start to.
I think they will be watching what will happen with other proof of work project rather than proof of stake project, because this will be like a significant sign of the problems. And I know that there was 1 year ago Monero was under attack, and I'm glad that it wasn't executed, actual double spend and actual 51%, because it would be really sad. Monero is a great project, but I really hope that it will create a conversation, a better conversation, compared to what we had like on the Monero Utopia a few years ago on the panel.
I think there's been some evolution since then because of the cubic attack. People are more open, or at least more cognizant of what the attack vectors are for proof of work, and realize that there are some potential.
You can call it even not proof of stake, but like call it layer or whatever you call it, just to make community more agreeing with this. Like, but it's really important to secure consensus with something like this. It's extremely important.
No, I know you've been saying it for forever, and you made the prediction that one day Monero will go full proof of stake, and I think
I still believe in this, and I still believe it's a great for Monero for many reasons. But to make this work, to make it go smooth, you guys have to start working on working with the community and explaining them and building the opinion that this is the better for pure technical perspective. So when the moment you make this decision, announce this decision, there will not going to be some useful idiots that will create a fork of pure proof of work fork of Monero and split the community. You have to consolidate opinion about this and start to work on this even before. So when in a couple of years you'll be guys deciding to do this, the community will be ready for this and will be no troubles building this.
Yeah.
I really hope it's going to be like this.
Yeah, I mean, right now, obviously everybody's focused on full chain membership proofs. The cubic attack ultimately wasn't successful. It definitely, caused a lot of issues, but there was no double spend. So some people are writing it off as though the attack ultimately failed. And then the thought is, what can be implemented in terms of fixing proof of work that would prevent the cubic attack, as opposed to going proof of stake. So things like work shares. I don't know if you're familiar with Quai, the Quai network, and work shares. Are you familiar with them at all?
No.
Okay. No. We had them at Monerotopia this year. Maybe they'll come to the next one. Maybe you'll come to the next one too. I would love to get you guys on a panel, because the guy who runs Quai network, he's like a proof of work maxi, and he has some good arguments. I mean, basically it boils down to this idea that, proof of stake is arguably more akin to the fiat system, and people with enough resources, with enough money, right, can overtake the network. You've heard the arguments. But for those,
I've heard those arguments. Like
for those listening
in the proof
now,
of work, money doesn't mean. Yeah, I hear this. But when the people have nothing to say in technical perspective with the actual subject, they jump onto politics or
right,
or conspiracy, and this conversation becomes not productive at all after this. So I prefer to have a technical conversations like the one that we have in the common prefix researchers or the people who building stuff. We even had a conversation with a core. He helped me in the early phases, and I emailed him, I think, a year and a half ago when I was trying to build a new hybrid system. He was helping me to review these things. So maybe you can speak with the core. By the way, is he around? Core.
Yeah, he's kind of come back. I see him in the dev chats now. I feel like he left for a while, but now he's back helping out again.
He's very great intuition on consensus. I collaborated with him on this. He's a really great intuition on this, and you should guys work with him and
right. And obviously he's open to proof of stake. I mean, he helped build Zarkanium, right? He
helped to build Zarkanium privacy model, as far as I remember. They collaborated with Val on this, the whole scheme with assets and things like this. But when I was talking with him last time, when I saw him personally, I think we were at MoneroCon in 2023, probably 24, I don't remember. And I asked him what he feels. He said that he's closer to proof of work right at that moment when we talked to him. But probably he changes his mind. I don't know. I don't know if he is but he is very rational and fact-driven person. So he always he's a truth seeker. He's looking into things, try to be, how to say it, he doing his research first before which makes him a great researcher. So
yeah. So do you see proof of work in crypto in general becoming less and less significant? I mean, you don't see like Bitcoin ever moving away from proof of work.
I think Bitcoin will be the last one, but I also start to believe that Bitcoin will be moved to proof of stake, but it will probably be the last one. And also it's going to be a lot of drama, and maybe this drive to proof of stake will kill it at some point, actually. But they will have to do this at some point, but it will be the last one. I think, but most of the project, yes.
Why do you think Bitcoin would have to do it as well eventually? Like when you say they would have, because of security reasons, or? Yes,
the security reasons with say. So with one of the problems with a proof of work that every block, every minute, not every minute in terms of every day, the network has to spend huge amount of money to basically delegate this security feature function to some third party, which is miners with hardware devices. And even in Bitcoin, it's huge money. Every day it's I don't know how much, but it's crazy money. Every day it's paid to these factories in China or in Russia or in the United States that basically do industrial mining of Bitcoin. So I don't think the mining of Bitcoin exist as a private incentive as it was designed before. And I think the economical incentive will drive this project like this, the big projects, away from proof of work, because when the Bitcoin getting more and more expensive, or the transfer are getting more and more expensive, the risk of double spend attack are more, but the security are stay the same. So security gives you the security that you have is just equal to the money that you pay every day to the miners. And in a proof of stake, the economics and tokenomics works a little bit different. You can issue a way lesser amount of coins to reward the stakers, and they still will be interested to secure the network in the staking. And it will be always a natural, how you call it, a balance, equilibrium, that you have enough people to come to staking, because when the people go away and they see it's not interesting to stake anymore because the interests are lowered, the number of coins that issued are become distributed between lesser people, so interests are automatically raised. So with the proof of stake, I don't want to dive into details, but with the proof of stake, you can maintain the security for the way lesser cost, and it comes, and when the price of or capitalization of the project rise, it's automatically lift the security of the project, because the amount of the tokens that is bonded into the staking, bonded into the security, actually rise in the value. So the stakes are raised itself. So this creates more effective system. You still have to pay out to the network, but it's way lesser money than proof of work. So
yeah, the Quai network guy really opened my eyes to the fact too that in a way, Bitcoin does have a proof of stake element to it because it's ASIC mined, right? So you have all these ASIC miners, and ASIC miners have some stakiness to them because people have to go out, they have to buy these miners with capital.
Yes.
And then these miners can only do one thing. They can only mine Bitcoin. So they're useless for anything else. And so you essentially have stake in the network by way of owning these miners.
Yeah, that's true. But then I don't understand this anti-government proof of work supporters argument, because they always say this, but then when you look into the Bitcoin, which is mined by the big factories who actually produce this hardware, then they sell it some third party when it becomes not that effective. But the reality is that Bitcoin is mined by huge factories, which is 100% controlled by the government. So Bitcoin itself controlled by the governments more than any other, or government institutions more than any other blockchain. So which is probably not that bad for Bitcoin itself, because it become more legal, more legitimate in the eyes of the regulations and whatever it is. So it's not a decentralized money anymore. It's store of value, what they call it right now. So we shouldn't look at the Bitcoin itself as decentralized crypto anymore. It's more of like a store of value, particularly controlled by the government, especially consensus controlled by the government. But still, even with this situation, everything you said about ASIC being more bonded to the network than just GPU general proof of work, I agree with this. But even with this, the network itself has a security economics, and for Bitcoin holders, I think for people who actually own actual Bitcoin, for them it's the way better to have a system when they have a saying, rather than some factories in China, in Russia, or in United States controlled by the government. I think it's, even from this perspective, Bitcoin controlled and dictated by the people who own Bitcoin is a way better system, but compared to this factories that on the line that need a lot of electricity.
Too much control.
So I think this is from many perspectives, proof of work is a great system, but it's technology and economic perspective, it's lesser than proof of stake. So that's my take. That's why I believe Bitcoin will switch at some point to pure proof of stake, or some sort of the layer that will have this proof of stake, but it will go through the drama, and probably it's going to be very dangerous for Bitcoin unless they start to work on build this propaganda, proof of stake propaganda to explain people. I call it propaganda not because it's a lie, but because you have to address this issue, because the community, the useful idiots that will do the stupid things that will basically ruin the community, the unity of the people around this idea of decentralized money, they will go different direction that will be bad. So I think they have to start to explain to people that this has to be done in a certain way.
Okay. Anything else you want to bring up with regards to things coming up in Zano? Obviously, we spoke about the hard fork. We spoke about the move to pure proof of stake. I guess timeline. When do you see that happening? Moving towards pure proof of stake. How far out?
I really hope that through the winter I will manage to implement it, and by the spring we'll have that's my idea. That we'll implement it during the winter or the fall, and we start to have a test network in the spring. And if everything is good, if we manage to survive to this time, then next summer.
All right. So maybe by the next Monerotopia in the spring, you'll have a test net up or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Would love to get you down there again, man. I don't know. I think we're gonna do it in Mexico at least one more time, probably maybe around March, April.
And then you want to change location after?
I mean, I think so. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll be in touch with you about that.
I'll try to make it next year to Monero.
Awesome. Yeah, you're such a big part of it when you're there. It's fantastic to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything else you want to get out? Any other information? I think we covered a lot.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much it.
And so, how are you feeling about things in general in the crypto space? I know you're head down. You're a developer. You're focused on the tech. But right now, people are getting excited. It feels like people are getting a little excited again. They think the bear market might be over. I know this isn't your expertise or things you necessarily care about, but what's your viewpoint there in terms of where crypto is?
I think attention from the crypto space are driven a little bit away by AI revolution that happens now.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it's been all hyped. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but crypto became something like not fantastic, but casual, a regular thing.
Right.
Basically, the crypto industry itself in a very good place. I see it in a very good place, but the privacy blockchains are in a very questionable position, in a very, I wouldn't say dark place. It's not what I'm saying. I would say we are really in a challenging time. Even I myself think about it a lot because from one side, I believe in the privacy for a consumer. Whenever you pay for something or spend something on transfer margin, people shouldn't be seeing all the chain of your transactions, all your balances, or whatever you did, especially with these AI tools that coming, this AI tools that build an analysis way faster and easier than it was before. It's super unsafe. From other perspective, I have some sort of understanding why regulation was coming after privacy blockchains, because it's also create some illegal activities. And I know it's unpopular for me as a founder of privacy blockchain to say this, but I myself reflecting on this as well, and we're trying to understand what are the ethical ground for this to be on the right side of the progress, on the right side of the good. And this is very interesting time and very complicated. We have a lot of thoughts on this. We see what's happening with exchanges that hesitate to list privacy coins. Some exchanges delisting, more exchanges, bigger exchanges became more regulated or compliant. They delist privacy coins. And I'm really curious what would be the place of the privacy in the future. And I really want to have it in a civilized way, to have a privacy for consumers in an ethical way. I want it to be there. I want it to be in the industry, recognize it without stigma. And I really don't know about this part. This part is challenging for me. The crypto itself industry is, I think it's already there. It's well adapted and people see how to make it everyday experience, but the privacy is still tricky.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on this? What do you think about this?
I think things are getting a little bit better, actually, in terms of the stigma that people have against privacy coins. I don't think we're out of the woods yet. There's obviously going to be some moments where, governments perhaps try to make an example. But I think overall, because of the nature of Bitcoin, its transparency, and people waking up to this idea of mass surveillance, right? I don't know if you're seeing the flock camera thing in the US. That's like a big eye opener right now. Are you familiar with flock cameras? The flock cameras?
No.
So it's basically these physical units that are out there on the street that are tracking and tracing everybody's movements, all cars' movements, to the point where cars are now perfectly surveilled when you're driving around essentially every inch of the United States because of these flock cameras. And this has caused a big eye opener in terms of surveillance, mass surveillance. And yeah, it's not crypto, it's not money, but it's opening up people's eyes to this concept of mass surveillance. And people are getting very aggravated by it. They're starting to rip down the flock cameras. Politicians are coming out and speaking out against it. And so I feel like this theme of anti-surveillance is growing, and people are starting to realize that there's solutions. And rather than something like a privacy coin having this negative stigma that it can be used for crime, people are starting to realize, oh wow, it actually has a positive connotation. It can protect us from mass surveillance. So obviously, I'm always an eternal optimist when it comes to these things. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in Monero and privacy coins. But I do think the pendulum starts to swing towards the masses becoming more pro privacy and anti mass surveillance. And from that, I think things like Monero and Zano will benefit from that. That's my
that's interesting. But I think it's more common view in United States where you guys have a freedom, at least. In some spaces. What I see in Europe or other countries are kind of little bit different shift, which
that might shift too, as maybe they want to start to compete as well. They're seeing the negative effects that's having on their society. Maybe it shifts there eventually. I don't know, but yeah, perhaps a little less hopeful over there.
Yeah, let's hope for it.
I do have a super chat. I don't want to open up a whole other can of worms here, but let's see what this guy's asking. Good morning. This is from Zion Music tipped 0.1 XMR. That's a very, very generous Monero tip. Thank you so much. XMR chat. Thank you. Great info. Thanks. Question. If we want a tokenization infrastructure that people use instead of BlackRock, i.e. on Ethereum, what prevents them from creating a token for your house and they legally render your Zano home asset useless or anything? Banks own most homes. I don't know if you're...
I don't get it. I don't get how they can create a token for my house and they legally render your Zano home.
I guess they're saying like...
Can you explain it to me?
I think they're trying to say ultimately if we want to put assets on the blockchain, right? That's kind of the big goal, right? Eventually, even something like the deed to your home will be on Ethereum or on Zano, right? And you'd hold the private key to your... Like, this is the big vision with crypto, right?
Well,
but he's saying,
I can explain.
How do we ever get there if we're integrating with, you know, with the state and the banks that might just...
Okay, I'm gonna answer.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I don't know how to answer this particular question because I don't have enough knowledge about this specific question. I can explain something different but connected to this. At least it's my understanding why we need tokens on Zana or any other coins. So the problem that that's the reason why we built this tokens, why we wanted this since the beginning. That's the idea that me and Pavel discussed before we come to inception of this Zarkanum thing and tokenization. So the thing is that we learned it in the blockchain, in the crypto, that people actually turn out people don't use those coins for the payments. People don't use Bitcoin for payments. People don't use, I don't know about Monero, but most of the people use Monero, as far as I know, as a investment in the privacy and their beliefs. And it's really the reason why it's hard to use these coins as a payments, because the value of these coins are constantly changing in the turbulent markets and everywhere. It's not, in other words, it's not linked to real world, to price of real things in the world. And because of this reason, it's really hard to build some sort of business or real world experience with the real world usage with this coin. So what happens is these coins becomes a value as represent certain technologies. Ethereum represent a lot of things. Bitcoin represents store of value. Monero represent privacy. Some other Zcash also represent privacy. Zana also represent like many things, privacy plus, let's call it Ethereum. But what happens actually from our experience, people use stable coins, which I don't support the idea that stable coins are linked to dollar itself because it's connected to bank system. But the idea of the stable coin is that it's this price of this stable coin should be linked to the real world, to the price of something from the real world, where I pay for the cup of coffee or for the burger or for the steak, and it costs me the same amount of money plus minus some like little volatility, but it should be reliable. And the reason why majority of the transaction flow in the whole blockchain industry right now is USDT and USDC and the stable coins of other types, because that's what people actually use. It's became really practical, and whenever we also use these stable coins to pay whoever we work with, or whatever is happening when it comes to the business part. People like to see the numbers that they know is equal to the real world cost. You cannot link Monero to the cup of coffee because of the limited supply of Monero, and Monero represent the value of something that became greater or smaller, and it's always will be. I hope it's going to be higher price, but it's always be changing, right? Mm-hmm. that's the reason why you cannot use for payment. For in Zana, we wasn't pioneering this. It was Ethereum who pioneered this. In Zana, we build tokens for this, for make it useful for payment. We don't know. We cannot control who create the payment. Maybe government also will create tokenize whatever they want. It's their business. Maybe will people do this? We let people choose what they want to use, and that's what the freedom dollar is. That someone who created the token that represents the stable value of real world, and now you can pay it. We use this now in internal accounting. It works very well. Someone did it, link it to the real life, and make it working. So the goal is the simple explanation. Maybe we can build something with execution layer that will be more functional and will be closer to Ethereum with lending algorithms that you lend, or borrowing, or something else. It's open also on the table. But the minimal idea and the main reason, we want it to be useful for actual payments, and the people pay with the stable coins. And I'm not saying that it's failure of the blockchains. No, absolutely not. There was just an original vision. He didn't know, Satoshi didn't know, we didn't know how it's going to be turned out that people will be using. And I think that's where we are now, and that's what we built. That's why.
Anon tip 0.001x. Monero is used where privacy matters, e.g. darknet markets, gray, black markets. Yeah. Obviously, XMR Bazaar. By the way, we added Zano and Freedom Dollar to Anon Bazaar. We'll do a whole thing on that at another time. I don't know if you're even aware of that, but curious to see how that plays out if people start using Freedom Dollar to buy and sell goods and services.
Yeah, let's hope for it. Let's see.
I do think Monero has done well in terms of people actually using it as a crypto. I understand your point where people are more accustomed to a quote-unquote stable coin. But we are seeing real-world adoption in Monero, mainly because of this idea that it works as digital cash. So people are even willing to ignore the fact that it's not stable, right? And because of the utility it provides, they use it. One last question before we wrap up, because you mentioned Zcash. Just curious, what is your Zcash opinion, take? Right, it's kind of and this relates a little bit to the topic of where you see privacy coins and it going. Zcash, if nothing more, has done a good job of helping people, mainstreamers, normies, become more acceptable to the concept of privacy coins because of the money they put into marketing and the connections they have. But just as a project as a whole, and just what is your opinion of Zcash? I'm just curious. Well,
again, I don't have much knowledge. I never met them. I don't know a lot of things. I know that it's an interesting and very exciting technology, and they made a lot to normalize privacy. But I don't know much about. I don't know anyone. We actually probably met with someone from them in a conference in Amsterdam that will be in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
It's called Common Sense, and we are sponsoring this conference, and they also sponsoring this conference. So probably maybe met some of them.
Okay.
But I think it's a great project. I know that Monero community, some of the Monero community don't like them or attacking them for some reasons. But I don't read Twitter much, and what we know, the news, these guys developed this, these guys developed this, or these guys hacked this, or these guys got hacked this, or this hacked this. So that's most of the information I know. I don't read Twitter, so I probably miss some important information about Zcash, something that I don't know. But so far, I don't know anything negative, and we know it's people who are also building the privacy tools, trying to normalize privacy. We know that they are well supported by some institutional investors.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of manipulation going on there in terms of price and whatnot.
I don't have opinion about this. If there is a manipulation, it's a bad thing. I don't know for 100%. I don't know. I know that they are supported. But I know that there is a wide marketing campaign supporting them. I don't have any opinion about this. Probably they trying to, or people who are invested in Zcash trying to make money from this. So, but again,
from a technical standpoint, you think it's a
even not the best
project.
person to ask about this. I think if you ever have Val or someone on the show, he will be better explaining what is the nice or beautiful part about the technology, what are not good. So I know it's a very legitimate and it's a great project that's been in the waiting for forever in the industry, and that's.
How about the fact that it's not default private? Do you think there's an issue there, or it just plays a different role than something like Monero and Zano?
What do you call that they use unshielded address by default?
Yeah, it's transparent, and then you can
I don't think it's good. I mean, at least we have a different views. But I never heard their argument. Why is that? Why they doing this way or not another way? So I don't have what I think they are probably okay. It's not a technical opinion. It's impression that I may have overall that they less private than Monero. Probably they apparently have a smaller community, and probably Monero have a bigger spirit for anti-government, anti everything. So it's more like a rebel project. And it's just different characters of the projects, but I don't know what are they why are they doing this by default or not by default. As a junior, as a researcher, I have to base on the facts. Are they privacy is better or worse, or they have some malicious thing in the code base? And I don't know. So far, everything I know, it's very legitimate, very sophisticated technologies that they've been innovating, and as far as I know, they also come through a lot of challenges organizationally. I heard some stories from inside the project. So I think it's a project that faces its own difficulties and building what they can.
All right. Actually, I do one more question because this is a good question. Doug, can you ask Andrey just to check with hardforce 6 holders of Zano, for example, like on Zano Cake Wallet, do not need to do anything for this update?
No, of course
basically,
not.
yeah.
No.
Is there anything that people need to do? People that are just holding Zano on Cake Wallet?
Absolutely, of course, no, of course, no. I hope we're never gonna be in time where we'll ask all users to do something. Users should be chilled and enjoy the ride over the Zana innovations. But the partners, whoever integrated Zana, exchanges, custody, platforms, everyone, we keep them in touch. They have to do the job to adopt. I hope they already did it, because we started to announce it 2 months ago. We provided all the guidance that needed to be and fixed all potential problems that we noticed. So
as a user, you shouldn't really notice anything. You just got to sync your wallet when you open it up, and then you should be good to go as long as you're running the latest software.
Update the wallet. You should update, but the mobile wallet will tell you to update as soon as it's outdated.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I guess if you're somebody who's running a node, then you're obviously gonna have to update that.
Yeah, you will have a notification in the console if it's just a daemon node that will be saying you explicitly that you have to update the node. The UI will say also that you have to update the node. The mobile wallet will be updated, and after the hard fork itself, the protocol will cut outdated nodes from the network, so they will figure out problems afterwards as well if they have something. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Andrey, man, thank you so much. I always greatly appreciate these conversations. I know you don't really love being out there on the out on the forefront. You're more of a behind the scenes guy, so I greatly appreciate when you're willing to do these things. And I am excited for Zano, excited for the hard fork, the gateway addresses. Really excited to see how that shakes out. Maybe Monero learns from that. That's exciting news that dropped here today. This idea that you could even have gateway addresses where even the amounts are shielded. Super excited, and just excited to see that Zano continues to evolve from when I first became aware of it and interviewed you to now. It's been years now. You guys have made a lot of progress. So there's a lot of great dev work that's going on. It's not some stale project. So exciting to see that you guys continue to make progress. And yeah, you're always welcome on this show, man. And I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting and having me on the show. All our team appreciate your support of us. You've been obviously supporting us and inviting us. We really appreciate it. And thank you very much. Thanks a lot. It was a pleasure to have this conversation.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, Douglas. Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll be in touch. Have a good one.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your summer. Adios.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Monero Land. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode. We release new episodes every week. You can find and subscribe to our show on YouTube, Odyssey, iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Go to monerotalk.live for a full list of places where you can watch and listen. If you want to interact with us, guests, or other podcast listeners, you can follow us on Twitter, Mastodon, or any of our social media platforms. Monero Talk is also made possible from contributions by viewers and listeners like you, and supporting us is easier than ever by typing in monerotalk.crypto in your monero.com or Cake Wallet send address field to send us a tip. Once again, thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to being back next week.